even if you're an observer for many, many years of Israel and the Middle East generally, I don't think you would expect this to happen in Israel. And this is no doubt the most severe crisis in the country's history domestically. It faces external threat and external crisis, but not something on this level when there is a deep constitutional crisis right now. But we need also to understand that what happened is not just what, talking about the last 12 weeks. It's brought to the surface a lot of the issues that aren't resolved in the Israeli society along the lines of what is it Jewish and democratic, along the relation with the Palestinians. Who is who is carrying the burden of serving in the army, of generating wealth, of ethnic background, religious and seculars. All of this came to the surface around the issue of basically ambushing the Knesset and committing what is nothing short of a constitutional coup.
For those who are outside the country who do not understand the minutiae of the sometimes tribal politics of Israel, this is about more, presumably, than tinkering with the legal system.
Not at all. You're absolutely right. You can make an argument that every system needs a reform here and there. But what they're trying to do, the current government, which is the sixth Netanyahu government, supported by the very far right, is they're trying actually to considerably weaken the judicial system. In other words, the Supreme Court, the High Court of Justice, have very little say, and the politician will have more and more say. They were basically taking over the checks and balances which a democracy is built upon. And in that sense, appointing judges to the Supreme Court in the hands of the politician, not only the politician, the coalition, about overriding decisions by the Supreme Court. So step by step, reducing the power of the Supreme Court and the judiciary generally, and handing it into the politician. This is at the time that the Prime Minister is facing serious corruption charges in court. It's in trial already for months no end, and he tries to get off the hook by doing this, and also helping at least one minister that was already convicted of corruption.
I should say that Benjamin Netanyahu will strenuously deny those allegations. Let me ask you about the sense of unity in the administration in Israel. Is this a united government, or is there simply going to have to be some kind of compromise here to stop these protests?
I think the cracks are showing in the government. We expected 7, 8 years ago, so not years, but hours ago, it feels like years, 7, 8 hours ago, a statement by the Prime Minister, but he is still discussing it, negotiating with the other partners in government, which means there is no unity. He probably understands that this is the time to halt all the reforms, all the legislation that compromises Israel's liberal democracy. There are still hardliners within the government that actually tell him, if you do that, we will leave the coalition, and you have no alternative coalition, and as a result of it, your trial continues. You are right that he's innocent until proven guilty, but at the same time, one asks, how come that a prime minister still serving a prime minister when such serious charges were pressed and discussed in court?